Hello people on YouTube, this is Roger for the Splish Splash. Today we're going to talk about visibility in Modern Warfare. I have been doing like reviews and stuff when it comes to this game. One is up here regarding Modern Warfare. I've been covering like the whole single player, talking about it of course, and also the multiplayer. One thing I mentioned is visibility, and sometimes in this game it can be hard to see enemies in the distance, but also in these spaces when it's like dark rooms and corridors. You know it, you've been playing the game I guess for quite some time, same as me. So I fooled around a bit, changed my settings on my PC. Yes, I'm playing this on PC. So I'm gonna show the settings that I'm using currently, and also going to put up my PC specs so you can see what kind of PC I have, and maybe you can, you know, kind of translate that into your own setup and see if it's something for you, if I may say so. Otherwise you just can try that out blindly and see if it helps you out. So with no further ado, let's go into the settings and see what I've done. So first off, we're gonna go into general, and I'm gonna say straight away, I'm using a very high field of view. Actually, I'm maxing out. I'm going 120, and that is a lot. And I'm also using affected when it comes to the ADRESS field of view, so you can check that out as well. That's something I prefer. It's up to you. You can either use independent or affected. But anyhow, usually I use 90 as a field of view, but this time around I'm going all the way up because I think, or I believe, that I can see enemies better at the sides of the screen, so to say. This is not so good if you have like a very wide screen. Screen refresh rate here is 144 for me. The render resolution 9020 x 1080, 100, and advanced is of course the display resolution, the same, 9020 x 1080. Now the aspect ratio is automatic. Disable VSync. The custom frame limit is unlimited for me. I have another software taking care of this, which I'm not going into here, so that's why I'm not using it at all. Scrolling down a bit, we're getting into the details and the texture where it comes interesting. I'm using high with the texture resolution. Texture filter and isotropic is on high as well, and that goes for particle quality. So this is actually what I'm doing. If you feel that you want to go a bit lower, you can definitely do that, but for me this works fine and it looks good. Now the bullet impacts is enabled because that looks very cool. It doesn't stress the PC so much. Tessellation I have near. The shadow map resolution is normal. Cache spot shadow is enabled, and also cache sun shadows is enabled. Particle lighting is set on high for me. It works well. DirectX ray tracing is disabled. This is where you start to spare a bit when it comes to CPU and stuff. Ambient occlusion is both. That's what I'm using. The screen space reflection SSR is disabled. And when we're getting to the post-processing effects, we have anti-aliasing at the SMAA1X. And that is working well for me, as I said. The depth of field is disabled. The filmic strength is down to 0. And when it comes to the world motion blur, that is also disabled. Weapon motion blur disabled, and film grain also more or less disabled, meaning down to 0. So guys, here you have it. This is actually the settings I've been doing, using, and it has been working really well, and hopefully it can be the same for you. If you have any further questions regarding this, or your own kind of thoughts about it, or your own settings, let me know in the comment sections. It's also nice, and always nice, to share experiences, I think. By the way, talking about the field of view, as you see, I'm playing with the 120 field of view, and it has been working well for me, especially when I'm sniping. Again, I can like see people coming in from the sides in a different way from before. Usually when I have been playing again, I go with 90 or at the most 100 actually, but this time again, as I said, I'm getting it all the way up. This is also something that takes a bit of the CPU, so if you don't have such a strong PC, you might go a bit lower. Maybe you can start with 90 and see how that plays. But overall, I hope this can help you out. Let me know in the comment section, as I said, and if you're new here and if you would like to see more content, I have a kind of diversity on my channel. Apparently I'm playing shooter games, but also horror games. I do some reviews sometimes, and as I said, I have the Modern Warfare review up also on my channel, where I'm trying to cover most of it, at least when it comes to this game. The game is changing though, and we know that there's gonna be a lot more maps coming up, and I was just talking with friends, and we were just also hoping that some of the good old maps will get into play, because in my review I'm talking about the fact that a lot of these like respawn game modes such as TDM and Domination, I don't really like how they play on this kind of map layout. So I would love to see some old 3-lane maps coming into play as well. Let me know what you think about that too. I might consider to do also a video where I found out a good class that you might be interested to see that can shred people pretty well. I'm keeping this as a secret for now. Thanks for watching. Take care, people. Bye bye.